Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to explore an interesting and often overlooked coin from Australia, the 10 cents coin from the year 1983, especially focusing on pieces that show a rust-brown appearance on both the front and back. At first glance, many people might assume that such a coin has lost its value due to discoloration, but in reality, this type of condition can tell a unique story and still hold a place in the world of coin collecting. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. This coin features the iconic lyrebird design on the reverse side, a beautiful bird known for its incredible ability to mimic sounds. On the front, or obverse, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing Australia's connection to the British monarchy. The 1983 version of this coin follows the same classic design, making it part of a long-standing tradition in Australian coinage history. Now, when we talk about a rust-brown appearance on a 10-cent coin, it's important to understand that these coins are not made of iron, so they don't actually rust in the traditional sense. The coin is composed of cupronickel, which is a mixture of copper and nickel. Over time, due to environmental exposure, handling, moisture, or chemical reactions, the surface can develop a brownish tone. This toning can appear on both the front and back of the coin, giving it a distinctive and sometimes antique-like look. Rather than being seen as a damage, many collectors appreciate natural toning because it adds character and uniqueness to the coin. Talking about the background and composition, the Australian 10-cent coin weighs and has a diameter of the cupronickel composition makes it durable and resistant to everyday wear, which is why many of these coins are still found in circulation even decades later. The round shape and reeded edges are designed not only for aesthetic appeal, but also to prevent counterfeiting and ensure easy identification. When it comes to collector demand, the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin is not considered extremely rare, but it still holds steady interest among collectors, especially those who focus on date collections or toned coins. Coins with unusual coloring, such as the rust-brown appearance, can sometimes attract more attention because no two toned coins look exactly the same. Collectors who appreciate originality often prefer coins that have not been cleaned or altered, so a naturally toned coin can actually be more desirable than a shiny, cleaned one. Now let's talk about the current market value. In general, a standard 1983 Australian 10-cent coin in circulated condition is worth around its or slightly above, typically ranging from about 30,000 to 50,000 Australian dollars. However, if the coin has an appealing brown toning and is still in fine or very fine condition, it might sell for around $75,000 to $3,000 to the right buyer. Coins in uncirculated condition with attractive toning could reach even higher values, sometimes up to $75,000 or more, depending on collector interest and overall eye appeal. It's important to remember that value can vary based on demand, condition, and where the coin is sold. For collectors, there are a few useful tips to keep in mind. Always avoid cleaning your coins, as cleaning can significantly reduce their value. Store your coins in a dry and safe environment to prevent further damage or unwanted changes. Take time to learn about grading, as the condition of a coin plays a major role in its worth. And most importantly, collect coins that you personally enjoy, because the passion for collecting is just as important as the potential value. In conclusion, the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin with a rust-brown appearance is a great example of how even common coins can become interesting and collectible over time. Its history, composition, and unique toning make it more than just a small piece of currency. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, this coin offers an opportunity to appreciate the beauty and diversity of numismatics. With the right care and a bit of curiosity, even a simple coin like this can become a meaningful part of your collection. Next up, today we are going to explore an interesting and often overlooked coin from Australia. The 10 cents coin from 2005, especially in very fine condition, and understand its true market value in today's world. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Australian 10-cent coin has been a part of everyday currency since 1966, when Australia transitioned to. This particular 2005 issue was produced by the Royal Australian Mint, which is known for maintaining high-quality coin standards. The design of the coin features the iconic lyrebird on the reverse side, a bird famous for its ability to mimic sounds, symbolizing the richness of Australia's wildlife. On the obverse side, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, representing Australia's connection to the Commonwealth. Now, when we talk about the condition of a coin, it plays a major role in determining its value. A 2005 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition means the coin has been circulated but still retains clear details. The design is visible, with moderate wear on the high points, but nothing too damaged or faded. This level of preservation is quite respectable for collectors who enjoy coins that have a bit of history while still looking attractive. Moving on to the background and composition of the coin, the Australian 10-cent piece is made from cupronickel, which is a combination of this composition gives the coin durability and a silvery appearance that holds up well over time. The coin weighs approximately and has a distinctive round shape with a milled edge, making it easy to recognize and handle. Now let's talk about collector demand, which is an exciting part of coin collecting. While the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin is not considered rare, it still holds steady interest among collectors, especially those who are building complete sets of Australian decimal coins. Many collectors appreciate coins from the early 2000s because they are modern enough to find, yet old enough to show some history. The demand increases slightly when the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or higher, because collectors prefer coins that look appealing in their collections. When it comes to the current market value, the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition typically has a modest value. In most cases, its worth ranges between $50,000 to $75,000, depending on factors like exact condition, market demand, and where it is being sold. While this might not sound like a high value, it is important to remember that coin collecting is not always about high prices. It is about history, enjoyment, and the thrill of building a meaningful collection over time. For collectors, there are always opportunities to grow and improve. If you come across this coin, it is a great idea to keep it safe in a proper coin holder to prevent further wear. Always avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can actually reduce their value. Try to learn grading standards so you can better judge the condition of your coins. And most importantly, stay patient and consistent, because building a valuable collection takes time and dedication. As we come to the conclusion, the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition may not be extremely rare or expensive, but it carries its own charm and significance. It represents a piece of Australia's monetary history and offers collectors a chance to own a well-crafted coin with a beautiful design. Every coin, no matter its value, adds something special to a collection. Next up, today we talk about small coins. Many people think they have little or no value, but today's topic might change your perspective completely. In this video, we're exploring the fascinating story and current market value of the Australia 10 cents 2013 coin, especially those rare pieces that show rust-like black toning on both the front and back. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but under the right conditions, it can attract serious attention from collectors. Let's begin with a little history. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia shifted to decimal currency. Since then, it has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The 2013 version was produced by the Royal Australian Mint, which is known for maintaining high-quality minting standards. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the iconic lyrebird design, a symbol of Australia's rich wildlife, while the obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This design has a strong historical and cultural significance, making the coin more than just currency. Now let's talk about the condition, because this is where things get interesting. A 2013 Australian 10-cent coin with rust-like black toning on both sides is not actually rust in the traditional sense, since the coin is made of a corrosion-resistant alloy. What you are seeing is usually environmental toning or oxidation effects that occur over time. While damage generally lowers a coin's value, certain types of natural toning can actually make a coin more attractive to collectors. The blackened appearance, especially if it is evenly spread and visually unique, can turn an ordinary coin into a collectible piece with character and individuality. Moving on to the composition, the Australian 10-cent coin is made from cupronickel, which is a blend of. This composition gives the coin its durability and silver-like appearance. It also explains why true rust is not possible, but surface changes can still happen due to exposure to moisture, air, or chemicals. The coin has a round shape with a reeded edge, and it weighs approximately with a diameter of about. These physical features have remained consistent over the years, adding to its reliability and recognition. Now let's discuss collector demand. Coin collectors are always searching for something unique, and that's exactly where toned coins come into play. While millions of 2013 Australian 10-cent coins were minted, not all of them develop unusual toning. Coins with distinct black or dark toning on both the front and back can stand out in the market. Some collectors appreciate these coins for their aesthetic appeal, while others see them as natural variations that tell a story of time and storage conditions. The demand may not be extremely high compared to rare coins, but it definitely exists among niche collectors who value originality. Coming to the most important part, the current market value. In general, a regular 2013 Australian 10-cent coin in circulated condition is worth its which is 20,000 Australian dollars. When we talk about coins with unusual black toning on both sides, the value can increase depending on the visual appeal and condition. Such coins can sell anywhere between 148,000 to 175,000 Australian dollars, and in some rare cases, even higher if the toning is especially attractive or unique. The key factor here is not just the presence of discoloration, but how it looks overall. A well-toned coin with a balanced and appealing appearance has a better chance of attracting buyers. For collectors, this is a great opportunity to learn and grow. If you come across coins like this, don't rush to clean them. Cleaning can remove the natural toning and reduce the value significantly. Instead, store your coins in a dry, safe environment, preferably in coin holders or albums that protect them from moisture and air exposure. Always handle coins carefully, preferably by the edges, to avoid fingerprints and further surface changes. Over time, even simple coins can develop interesting features that increase their desirability. As we come to the conclusion, it's clear that even a small coin like the Australia 10 cents 2013 can hold more value than expected, especially when it has unique characteristics like black toning on both sides. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, beauty and value often lie in the details. Every coin has a story, and sometimes those stories are written through time itself. Next up, today we are taking a closer look at a small but fascinating piece of Australian currency history, the 1978 Australia 10-cent coin in very fine condition. At first glance, it may seem like just another common coin that has passed through countless hands over the years. But when we slow down and truly observe it, this coin begins to tell a story of design, national identity, and the quiet world of everyday collectors who appreciate the beauty of circulating money. The 1978 Australian 10-cent coin belongs to a long-running series of Australian decimal coinage that began in 1966, when Australia switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal system. This change marked a major turning point in the country's monetary history, making currency simpler and more modern. The 10-cent coin quickly became a familiar part of daily life in Australia, used for small purchases, pocket money, and everyday transactions. The design on the reverse side, created by the renowned artist Stuart Devlin, features the iconic echidna, one of Australia's unique native animals. This choice of design reflects Australia's natural heritage and adds a touch of national pride to such a small denomination coin. When we talk about the condition of a coin, like the 1978 Australian 10-cent piece in very fine condition, we are referring to a coin that has clearly been used in circulation, but still retains strong detail. You may notice that the echidna design is still quite visible, with only moderate wear on the higher points. The lettering remains readable, and the overall structure of the coin is well preserved. This condition is important because coin collectors always pay attention to how much detail survives over time. Even small differences in wear can influence how a coin is viewed in the collecting world. In terms of composition and physical background, the Australian 10-cent coin from 1978 is made from cupronickel, which is a durable alloy consisting of about 75% copper, and this metal combination gives the coin its silver-like appearance and helps it withstand heavy circulation without quickly losing its shape or detail. The coin has a standard diameter of and weighs approximately 5.65 grams. These consistent specifications make it easy for collectors to identify and compare across different years of production. Collector demand for the 1978 Australian 10-cent coin is generally steady rather than highly competitive. This is because the coin is not considered rare in circulation, as large numbers were minted during that time. However, what keeps interest alive is the historical value and the appeal of completing full-date sets. Many collectors enjoy building collections of every year of Australian decimal coins, and the 1978 issue plays an important role in that journey. Coins in very fine condition are especially appreciated because they represent a nice balance between affordability and preserved detail. Now, when we talk about the current market value of a 1978 Australia 10-cent coin in very fine condition, it is important to keep expectations realistic while still appreciating its collectible charm. In most cases, such a coin typically trades close to its in very fine condition. Collectors may see values roughly ranging from around $145,000 to $175,000, depending on demand, presentation, and whether it is part of a complete set. If the coin were in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value could rise slightly higher, sometimes reaching around $245,000 to $88,000 in collector markets. The key factor is always preservation, as cleaner and sharper examples naturally attract more interest. For collectors who are just starting, or even those who have been in the hobby for years, there are a few helpful tips when dealing with coins like this. It is always a good idea to handle coins carefully by the edges to avoid fingerprints and surface damage. Storing coins in protective holders can help preserve their condition for a long time. It is also beneficial to compare multiple coins of the same year and notice subtle differences in wear, as this helps develop a sharper eye for grading. Most importantly, collecting should always be enjoyable rather than purely financial, because the real value often lies in the story and history behind each piece. In conclusion, the 1978 Australia 10-cent coin in very fine condition is a wonderful example of everyday currency that carries quiet historical and collectible value. While it may not be a rare or high-priced coin, it remains an important part of Australia's decimal coinage story and continues to attract interest from collectors around the world. Its durable design, meaningful symbolism, and steady availability make it a satisfying piece for anyone building a collection. In the end, coins like this remind us that even the smallest objects in our pockets can hold a connection to history, design, and national identity, making them truly worth appreciating. Next up, today we are going to explore a very interesting and highly searched coin among collectors around the world. The Australia 10-cent coin from the year 1968 in fine condition. This small piece of currency may look simple at first glance, but it carries a rich history, valuable silver content, and a steady place in the world of coin collecting. Many beginners and even experienced collectors often ask what this coin is worth today in dollars, and why it still attracts attention more than 50 years after it was minted. Let's dive into its story in a clear and positive way. The Australia 10-cent coin was introduced after a major change in the country's currency system. In 1966, Australia moved from the old pre-decimal system to a modern decimal currency system. This was an important national transformation that made money easier to use and understand. The 10-cent coin became one of the essential parts of this new system. By 1968, when this particular coin was minted, Australia was still in the early years of its decimal journey, and these coins were actively used in everyday life for shopping, transport, and small transactions. Holding a 1968 Australian 10-cent coin today is like holding a small piece of that historical transition period. When we talk about the condition of a coin, especially the term fine condition, it means the coin has clearly been circulated but still maintains a good level of detail. The major features like the design, date, and portrait are visible and recognizable, although there may be moderate wear from years of use. A fine condition coin is not perfect, but it is still very presentable and valuable to collectors who appreciate historical authenticity over flawless shine. For many collectors, coins in this condition are ideal because they represent real-life usage and carry a strong historical character. Now let's move into the background and composition of this coin, which is one of the most interesting parts. The Australia 10-cent coin from 1968 was made using a silver composition is very important because it gives the coin intrinsic value based on the global silver market. Unlike modern coins that are often made from nickel or copper alloys with no precious metal value, this older coin has real silver content that contributes to its base worth. The coin weighs approximately 5.65 grams and has a distinctive silver appearance that makes it stand out compared to modern versions that look more dull and less reflective. The design of the coin also adds to its charm. On the obverse side, it features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which represents Australia's connection to the Commonwealth during that time. On the reverse side, the coin displays the lyrebird, one of Australia's most beautiful and symbolic native birds. This artistic design makes the coin not just a piece of money, but also a cultural symbol that reflects the country's natural heritage and identity. When we look at collector demand, the 1968 Australia 10-cent coin holds a stable position in the numismatic market. While it is not considered extremely rare, it is still highly appreciated because of its silver content and historical significance. Collectors who focus on Australian coins or silver coins from the 1960s often include this coin in their collections. Demand is especially strong among beginners who are building silver coin sets, and among intermediate collectors who are completing full date runs of Australian decimal coins. Its affordability also makes it an attractive entry point for new collectors who want to start with something historic, but not overly expensive. Now let's talk about the current market value in dollars, which is always the most exciting part for viewers. The value of a 1968 Australia 10-cent coin in fine condition depends mainly on two factors: its silver content and its collector demand. Because it contains 80% silver, its base value is influenced by the current silver price in the global market. In most cases, the melt value alone already gives it a small baseline worth. On top of that, collectors may pay a modest premium depending on demand and availability. In fine condition, this coin typically trades at a value slightly above its silver melt price, often ranging in the low single-digit $145,000 to $188,000 in most normal market situations. However, prices can vary depending on silver fluctuations and collector interest at the time of sale. It is important to understand that coins like this are not about getting rich quickly, but about steady value, historical appreciation, and long-term collecting enjoyment. Many collectors find satisfaction in building sets where each coin represents a different year, and the 1968 Australian 10-cent coin plays an important role in completing that early decimal era collectio. If you are a collector or planning to start collecting coins like this, there are a few helpful tips that can make your journey more rewarding. Always try to handle coins carefully by their edges to avoid fingerprints or scratches, as even fine condition coins can lose appeal if damaged further. Store them in protective holders or albums to preserve their condition over time. It is also a good idea to learn basic grading terms so you can better understand the difference between fine, very fine, and uncirculated conditions. This knowledge helps you make smarter buying and selling decisions. Another useful tip is to stay updated with silver prices because they directly influence the baseline value of these older silver coins. Collecting coins like the 1968 Australia 10-cent piece is not only about value, but also about connection to history. Each coin tells a story of the era it was used in, the people who carried it in their pockets, and the economic system it supported. Over time, these small pieces of metal become windows into the past, allowing collectors to appreciate both history and craftsmanship. In conclusion, the Australia 10-cent coin from 1968 in fine condition is a beautiful blend of history, silver content, and collector interest. While its market value today may remain modest, its true worth lies in its historical importance and its place in Australia's decimal currency story. It is a coin that continues to attract attention from collectors around the world, not because it is rare, but because it represents a meaningful era of change. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, this coin is a wonderful addition to any collection and a reminder of how even small pieces of currency can carry big historical value.